Hello guys, welcome to Uzumaki Legends. In this video we will see, what if Naruto was banished by his own family and became the King of West? Part 1. If you enjoy these kinds of fanfics, please hit the like button and subscribe the channel for more fanfics like this. And now without any further delay, let's start the fanfic. Naruto. You stand here accused of being responsible for the loss of Uchiha heir, interference with a mission above your rank, and endangerment to you fellow shinobi. How do you plea? A blonde man asked to a younger version of himself in a room filled with adults. The boy only glared at the man. He was bound and was being accused of crimes that were bogus. He looked in the eyes of half the people in the room and he knew that he could say nothing to save himself. In their eyes, they were very happy to see him being punished and most likely set something up against him. There is no point, you already made your decision. This is only a formality. Naruto stated as he began to recount his life. Recap. Sasuke Uchiha has been offered training by the Leaf's rogue ninja, Orochimaru of the Sannin. Sasuke's desire for power to kill his brother that slain the entire Uchiha clan under the guise to test his power. However, it was unknown to the public, but known to a few that the Uchiha clan was planning a coup d'état after the injustice they were faced with. 13 years ago, the Nine-Tails Fox was released by a rogue Uchiha and sent it to attack the Hidden Leaf village. The Nine-Tails Fox was resealed into the children of the current Hokage, Minato Namikaze. However, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi did the sealing, so his successor could live to raise his children and protect the village. The elderly man sealed the yang half of the chakra into the redhead daughter with whiskers, Mito. The yin half was sealed back into the previous Jinchuriki, Kushina Namikaze, to save her life after the extraction. Finally the soul that controls the chakra, was sealed into a young blonde baby with whiskers, Naruto. Naruto never considered himself part of the Namikaze or Uzumaki family. As he grew up, he was forced to face the wrath of the Leaf village by himself. Due to the belief of the village is more important than the children, Naruto rarely received any attention from his parents. All of their attention was solely on Mito because she was the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, so she would one day defend the village from all the treats in the world. Naruto's existence wasn't acknowledged by anyone in his family. He grew up alone and in pain. The only friends that he made were the Uchiha clan and the Ichiraku family. Like Naruto, the Uchiha clan was viewed in a bad light due to the secret information of a rogue Uchiha was responsible for the Nine-Tails attack. Fugaku, the head of the clan, understood his treatment and treated him better than his family and the village. Fugaku's own family became the family that Naruto never had, except Sasuke. Sasuke believed that Naruto was replacing him, so they never liked each other. After Itachi was ordered to kill the clan, Naruto was devastated and became more isolated. He would never acknowledge anyone in the village, besides the kind father-daughter duo that own a ramen stand. Naruto began to develop the mindset that Minato would never approve. The mindset of where your own needs are far more valuable than the village's needs. He stayed quiet and never rose up to be suspicious. He wanted to be away from the place that would conscript 6-year-olds into a horrible way of life. A life that he was conscripted into. During the days in the academy, Naruto did everything to be seen average, so his parents won't bother him, as they only ever cared about Mito. Those days, Mito would try to get close to her estranged twin brother, but she was the daughter of the Hokage and the hero of Konoha for being the Jinchuriki of the fox's chakra, where Naruto would be damned by the people for holding the soul of the fox. He would sneak off avoiding all contact with almost everyone his age or anyone else. He even stopped coming to the Namikaze compound and lived somewhere else, not that his parents notice, even with Mito bringing it up. Naruto even went as far as to only put Naruto on his shinobi register card after graduation. No Namikaze or Uzumaki. During his short career as a Leaf's ninja, he brought freedom and hope to the land of Wave, saved another Jinchuriki, saved the land of Snow, or land of Springs now, and became a hero to the village hidden in the waterfall. The only problem was that his team, Sasuke Uchiha, Mito Namikaze, and Sensei Kakashi was part of the mission. Kakashi heavily supported Mito at any moment. He falsified his reports and gave Mito and Sasuke the credit. Then again, Naruto only fought seriously when his team was out of sight. Kakashi believed that Mito and Sasuke did it due to them having any training compared to Naruto, the boy that he didn't acknowledge as any form of contribution to the mission, any mission. Then came the Natashiko incident. An all-female shinobi village came to the Leaf in order to fulfill the promise that Jiraiya made in the past. Sadly, Mito was the only student of Jiraiya, so there couldn't make an alliance. Jiraiya and Minato cursed this because the Natashiko village was a powerful village, even if it is small village. The idea of Naruto being used never came to mind. Naruto never had any real friends besides people using him to get close to Mito. He rarely depends on his comrades. He will come up with plans that fits his needs. This problem was brought up by Kakashi in a team meeting. He suggests working together, but only trains Mito and Sasuke. He tells Naruto to do chakra control exercise. Naruto did them all and created a few himself. This only enlarged the rift with him and the Leaf, seeing as they refused to help him become stronger, he would need to find another source. During the Chunin exam, where all 5 great village participated in, Naruto was acknowledged as an orphan by the foreigners. It didn't bother him, but when he defeated Neji and Mito in his match, it brought questions to the other cage. They noticed the whiskers, blue eyes, and blonde hair that is shared with Mito and Minato. Minato said he was his son. That was it, he couldn't think of saying anything else because this was the first moment in his life that he thought about Naruto. All the cages saw the look on his face and knew what that means. They were disappointed for Minato's action for a son with many talents, including his rival the Raikage, A. News of his status as Jinchuriki of the Soul of the Fox became public knowledge, as did Mito's status. The cages recognized this, that even the most noble cage out of the 5 will do the same as any other cage. Train the one with power and ignore anything else. It was originally thought that this man was a man that wanted peace for the entire shinobi world, but his action reveals that he only cares about the Leaf. During the invasion, Gaara went full-tailed beast mode, but Naruto stopped him. He used his White Tiger summoning boss, Byakko, to defeat Gaara. Naruto used the summoning jutsu on accident one day and teleported to the den of the White Tiger clan. To become the summoner of the fabled clan, he had to allow them to look into his mind. If they don't like what they see, you die. If they do like it, you are in. Naruto, of course, passed with flying color. A boy grew up with hate, but never sought revenge. Impressed them, but they did saw a lot of hate for the village and the people, just not revenge. After the invasion, Minato gave the credit of defeating Gaara to Mito, no matter how much she protested. Sasuke only saw Naruto with his eyes burning with hatred. He knew that Naruto was far more powerful than he lets on, and he was on good terms with his own family, before their death. He couldn't stand Naruto. He was treated as the prince of the Leaf. Hell, he and Mito were engaged to each other to strengthen the Hokage's family. Minato thought that Sasuke is a better son. Sasuke used the curse seal more often and fell prey to it. He decided to go rogue and go seek out Orochimaru for power. He left the village, and the next morning, Minato assembled a team to retrieve him under the belief that Sasuke was kidnapped by Orochimaru. A team that consisted Shikamaru, Kiba, Choji, Neji, and Mito. Naruto wasn't viewed as capable of performing an A- rank mission. A mission where any Jonin or Anbu could have been sent on. Instead, Genins and one Chunin was sent because they were Sasuke's friend. Naruto, however, was conflicted about not going. Normally he wouldn't give a damn, but Fugaku and Makoto were like parents to him. After giving it a long thought, Naruto ran to catch up with them. He couldn't allow Orochimaru take control of such an asshole because Naruto knew that they love Sasuke. Naruto only managed to reach Mito and Sasuke fighting at the Valley of the End. Naruto was about to interfere, but an old enemy prevented him to join in to capture Sasuke, Kabuto. During the exam, both Kabuto and Naruto saw through both of their disguise. Kabuto knew that Naruto is dangerous. It only became more apparent that the two fought each other in the Forest of Death when Naruto started to use Kurama's chakra. Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. Naruto managed to speak to the soul of the nine tails at a young age. Only shocked to find out the truth and that the fox is a female chakra construct. To see what she looks like in my story, search Duluo Dalu 2, Ma Xiao Tao. Only imagine 9 crimson tails on her. Throughout his life, Kurama would tutor Naruto in the shinobi way. Naruto would consider her as the only mother he has left after Makoto's death. Eventually, Sasuke won and Kabuto escaped. Naruto was forced to retrieve his estranged twin until Kakashi showed up and arrested Naruto for not being assigned to the mission. End of recap. Is that your plea? Minato asked in a calm tone. Naruto knew it was over for him. He could see the civilian members drooling over the punishment against him. He knew they wanted him dead since he was born. Naruto tried to bring onto the table that Rock Lee was also joining the mission without the authority of the Hokage, but one civilian council member lied that he assigned Lee as backup. Something that only the Hokage can do. Just get this over with. Those asshole wants to see me dead. I bet they are the one leading this trial against me. Something that only a shinobi of high ranking could do. Naruto stated in an attempt to piss them off. He knew that they only desire power. So if they can't get shinobi power, they will get political power. How dare you? You demon. You should respect us. We own you, shouted the angry civilian members. Surprising both Minato and Kushina, as this is the first time that Naruto was brought up in the council and this is their reaction. I do because it is the truth, replied Naruto. You are a demon. You should be honored that we spend so much time on you. What? Whispered Minato and Kushina. Not believing that their family, the Hokage, consider everyone part of Konoha as family, would have such hate for one of their own. Enough, shouted Minato to get everyone to calm down, while trying to absorb the knowledge that his village beat up Naruto. The council made an unanimous vote. You are hereby banished from the Leaf. Naruto only scoffed at this. He expected public execution. Considering it was the last Uchiha, the civilian council would be able to get away with that. Maybe they had something else for him once he's outside of Konoha. He was fully aware of Root and he knew Root was fully aware of him. Know this, Namikaze. I don't forgive and I don't forget. You will one day regret this choice of being a slave to such a corrupt system. Naruto stated as he was dragged away by Anbu that a civilian counselor summoned. Minato was beginning to see that Naruto's word may come true. The power that a mere civilian had was unbelievable. They only dealt with domestic issues. They weren't allowed to have this much power because they didn't understand the shinobi system and would end up causing damage to the village. Did I make the right choice? Land of Wind. It has been several days since Naruto was banished from the village. He made his way to the Land of Wind. Kurama told him about a possible new start. A place where he can truly make a home for himself. A new world. Well, not a new world, more like half a world. More specifically, the other half of the world. The larger half. Back in the days of the Sage of the Sixth Path, the world was chaotic. The land was filled with species of all kind and they had more power than any humans, even though humans were the majority populace of the world. The sage feared their power, so he made a choice. After becoming the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, he used its power to separate the world into the East and West. The East becoming the Elemental Nation and the West as the Endless War Nation. When the wall was formed, he abandoned all the humans on the West to fend for themselves. Later, he purged any and all non-human in the East. Under the belief that only humanity could achieve peace, while all non-human would only bring death and destruction. He murdered all non-humans single-handedly. Women and children were not spared. He became more of a god figure to the east, but is more known as a monster to the west as some in the west had power to gleam over the wall. This is where the fear of anything non-human came from for the shinobi race. Surviving demons went into hiding as they were trapped in the east. Demons like the tailed beasts that was split from the 10 tails and others like Moroyo. They grew a hatred for the sage. Moroyo decided to target humans for revenge. The tailed beasts decided to target humans after becoming free from the sage. The tailed beasts would never forgive him for taking them away from their home, as the 10 tails was originally created by someone powerful in the West. They too attack humans in the name of revenge. However, the humans were left with a new power to fight for themselves. The sage created ninjutsu to bring humanity closer, but they remade ninjutsu into ninjutsu. They use it for war, just like how every other race use power. They use it to fight the tailed beasts, then later sealing them into humans, creating jinchurikis. Tailed beasts were immortal, so they couldn't be killed, so they were sealed. After the birth of the jinchurikis, they were immediately rejected by society. Any connection to non-human made them an enemy. They were treated as human weapons. Or weapons, depending who you ask. Very few humans in the East understood the feelings of the demons. They too were killed off as demon lovers. "It's hot," Naruto shouted. As when he made it to the border, Byako, the leader of the White Tiger summons, went home. Naruto has been traveling for 2 days in the endless desert. Are you sure this is the only way to make it to the wall, Kurama? It's this way or you go through the land of earth. I'm pretty sure that they won't like you going into their territory. Even when you have been banished. Just soldier on, replied the kitsune, enjoying seeing her host walking under the blazing sun in the middle of the desert. After a few more hours of scorching walk. Hey, I see it. It's the wall. As he began to jump with joy. Then suddenly stop. How do I get over it? You said that the sage made it, so chakra can't affect it. True, chakra can't touch the wall, so the humans won't explore the other side. But you have me. I still have some power to get you over the wall. Don't worry and leave it to me. Kurama said as she began to take over Naruto's body and Naruto's conscience left the control of his body. Naruto's hair changed red and his whiskers became more defined as she took the wheel. There should be. Here is the secret door. Thank you, you bastard, she said as she channeled her spirit power, prana or mana or magic as you want to call it, into the wall and a doorway opened. I never thought that having a piece of your power would get me back home. She grinned as she thought of the man that sealed and split her original form. In the West, Naruto then regained control of his body again. His hair becoming blonde and his whiskers becoming less noticeable. Naruto opened his eyes and gazed into the new world. So this is the West, ah. I thought I would see bodies and destruction everywhere. He only saw a beautiful landscape. Nature looks peaceful. A wonderful forest all around him, birds chirping, and the sound of a rushing river nearby. It reminded him the forest surrounding Konoha. The place where he would usually stay and hide out during his days in Konoha. Yes, this place is definitely peaceful. Most likely due to people not being around the wall. It can't be taken down without the power of the sage, which I so happened to inherit after the sage's death. I wish my other sibling would see this. How I miss home, she said as she felt relieved to be home where she would be accepted. So now what? Go north. I remember there being the largest human city. The city of Camelot. The other race may not take a liking to you, so be careful. It was true. There are many races besides human. There were demons like her. Also, devils the weaker version of demons, but hold more potential to become stronger like humans. Then the angels that God sent to protect the world, also their counterpart, fallen angel. Yukai, like the kitsune, nekomata, and much more. Ghouls, the mutated human that are far stronger and faster, but have the problem of the ability to only eat humans. Finally, there is the humans. The race with only the potential to become strong and they're more adaptable. They can handle the biology of any other race, so there are many humans that fell in love with the other races. Their children usually become only one race, a human or the race that is the spouse of the human. Even then, they would only be seen as half-breed. Or late the last time Kurama was here. Who knows how much has changed in a few thousands of years. I will, but I want to meet the other races. They seem like they could be good friends. I mean, look at us. We are a family, Naruto said with a grin. Kanade could only smile at this. It has been 1 month since Naruto started his adventure. He ran into the other races, but it didn't turn out the way he wanted. Most of them attacked Naruto on sight. Naruto barely survived their encounter. If Kurama didn't take over, Naruto would be dead. There he realized that all the races' power are far stronger than chakra. If war would spread to the elemental nation, then the shinobi villages would surely lose. Naruto ran into some of the more friendly people. Flashback. Hey, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just a simple traveler. Naruto said as he raised his hands to show he isn't a danger to the ghoul. How can I trust you? You humans always hurt me, said the ghoul. Wait, how can a ghoul be hurt by humans? I mean, aren't we weak? Naruto said in surprise that a ghoul being hurt by humans. The ghoul looked at him confused. I'm from over the wall. I was told by a friendly demon that live in the east that I could get a new start if I come here. I'm just trying to start over. The ghoul carefully studied Naruto. The idea alone seems impossible. As the ghoul watched him, she could tell there wasn't a single lie in Naruto's eye. One explanation later. Man, you humans sound pitiful in the east, the ghoul said after hearing Naruto's story. Wait, human can fight on the same level as the others as well. Naruto shouted in surprise. Yeah, your ninjutsu, as far as I can tell, comes from the idea of wielding the spiritual side of energy and the physical side. But it seems like you people from the east only took half of each, so your body doesn't break. If you use the full power of one side, it will be enough to fight any race. Chakra sounds like downgraded version of energy here. You, humans evolved after the wall was put up. You guys couldn't compete with us, so you fought hard and evolved into what humans are now. Humans definitely earn the title as the most adaptable race. You guys develop a body to handle the spiritual side, prana, mana, or magic as you could call it. There is many name for it. Or you could learn the physical side of energy, do-chi. The problem is the majority have trouble mastering those two art. Only the strong could handle it. Also, your senjutsu sounds weak. I mean, senjutsu is one of the power that is closer to God, yet it can only take down your shinobi that are barely on the same level as a warlord's lieutenant. I think you guys are making the nature energy you take in weaker, by mixing it with your chakra. The nature energy is most likely diluted by your chakra, so you can handle it. I mean, anyone can learn how to use nature energy, but that doesn't mean you should. Some races, like the Kitsune and Nekomata, are more known to have an affinity for nature energy. Everyone else, it may as well be suicide. Using pure nature energy can easily make you a warlord of a demon territory. Said the ghoul, surprising Naruto that it's possible to learn a stronger form of energy now. Thank you very much. I hope I can call you friend in the future. Naruto said as he begins his journey to Camelot. Are you sure you don't want a bite out of me? I mean, I don't want you to starve, he said with a worry face. I can't take a bite out of a cute guy like yourself. I will feel bad about it later, she said with a wink, causing him to blush. I hope we see each other in the future, he said. Me too. By the way, the name is Naruto, he said as he waved goodbye to his new friend. My name is Tuka Kirishima. I hope you find happiness here, smiling back. Flashback end. Naruto spent his travel learning how to harness one side of his energy, but failed each time. He decided to give it a break until he made it to Camelot. Finally reaching the gate of Camelot and into human territory. Halt! What is your business here? Shouted a pair guard pointing his halberd at him. Naruto just rose his arm up. I'm just a traveler looking for a new home, said Naruto. What do you have to offer to Lord Oda Nobunaga then? To join his kingdom, you have to offer our warlord something. What? You have to give up something to their leader in order to join. Thought a confused Naruto, believing that they would take in all humans. Then suddenly, there is no point, said a man that appeared at the gate. Dress as a standard mage. I sense something from you. You're not human. Kill him, shouted the mage as he realized that Naruto holds demonic power in human. The guards charge at him with the intent to kill. Naruto jumped back, but without getting stabbed in the guts. Naruto pulled out a kunai and threw it at the guards, but the kunai only left a dent. Damn it. Not even wind-enhanced kunai can get through their armor. The West is truly fearsome. Naruto began to panic. Then he started to do hand signs for a wind jutsu. "Oh no you don't, demon!" shouted the mage, as he blasted Naruto with a fire bolt spell, knocking him unconscious. They begin to approach for the kill, but someone appeared. "The boy belonged to me. I won't have you harm him," said a woman in a cloak, covering a body. She used magic to lift up Naruto and take him away. "Who was that?" asked one of the guard as he faced the mage. "Someone that should be feared," the mage said as he shivered from believing who she really is. The sheer amount of mana she was giving out only indicated one person, and he was hoping it's not her. A forest away from Camelot. Naruto is just left in the forest by a lake after being rescued by our mysterious woman. Then come in a blonde woman with bluish-green eyes as she went to the nearby lake to bathe. Who is he? She wondered. Ah. Naruto groaned as he begins to wake up. He opens his eyes to look around, finding himself in a forest after being attacked. "Find me," said an unknown voice. "Kurama did. Don't worry, a mage saved you and left you here. Just get some time to rest and we will think of something else to do." Kurama cut it off Naruto, assuming he would question about what he last remember. "Okay, but did you hear that?" Naruto thought, but was interrupted. "Hey, are you alright?" asked a girl with blonde hair and bluish-green eyes as she lends a hand. "I'm fine, thank you," Naruto said as he reached up to her hand to get back up. "I'm Naruto. Who are you, Ms.? I'm Arturia Britain," the woman said as she pulled Naruto up. "How did you end up looking beat up, Naruto?" "I was heading to Camelot, but they attacked me because I couldn't pay up," he lied to her. Not wanting the cute girl in her casual wear Saber's casual outfit in Fate Stay Night to be scared of him. "Yeah, getting into Camelot isn't the smartest thing to do. Nobunaga is nothing but a tyrant. Why would you go to him?" she asked as she begins to analyze him. "Hey, I'm new here. I came from over the wall and heard that Camelot is where humans are the strongest. So I need some sort of starting point," surprising Arturia. "Impossible. No one can cross the wall. It's simply impossible," showing her doubt to Naruto's story. "That is where you were wrong, Missy," said a woman voice that appeared out of nowhere. The same person that saved Naruto. There spoke a legend that everyone here knows. "Wait, who are you?" both Naruto and Arturia said as they drew at a kunai and a sword respectively. "You should have heard of me, lady. I'm Merlin, the boar's sin of gluttony. One of the member of the dead 7 deadly sins," Melon said as she took off her cloak. She is seen as a slim, attractive, tall woman with 3 beauty marks below her right eye. Her outfit consists of a highly revealing and open fur-collared long coat, with heart-shaped buttons, short shorts with a heart on it, and thigh-high boots. Merlin's hair is at shoulder length and black. "I thought the sins died out long ago, Lady Melon," as Arturia began to bow down in show of respect. "They did. All the other members are dead. I'm the last survivor and I'm planning on rebuilding the sins with this young man's help," Merlin said. Whoa, whoa. Time out. First off, who are you?" said Naruto as he brought their attention on him. "Of course you won't know. You are from the east," surprising Arturia. She didn't believe him at first, but hearing it from a legendary figure makes it more believable. "I saw you cross over, but first off, introduction. I'm Merlin, the boar's sin of gluttony. The last member of the legendary 7 deadly sins. Each sins represent a person's power. My power is close to that of gluttony. You do know about the 7 sins, right?" Getting a nod from Naruto. "Well, I'm Arturia Britain. I'm just a simple woman trying to have a life." Then she turned to Naruto. "Find me," said the mysterious voice, while Naruto ignored it as he paid attention to the situation in front of him. "Sigh, I'm Naruto. One background story later. I thought that the sage was a peaceful man. I never expected him to be a cold man," Merlin said in surprise. She always heard that the sage strived for peace. Apparently, he was going for a peaceful world for only humans. "Well, at least now that I know that humans don't change. Even in the peaceful East, there is problems and corruption." Arturia said while giving Naruto a sad smile. Seeing him struggle in the land that is more peaceful than the West. Okay. Now what is this legend you keep on talking about? Naruto asked as he looked at Merlin. She simply looked at Arturia. She sighed. There is an old story that my mom will always tell me when I was younger. Ever since that the endless war started, all race prayed for a miracle. For someone to stop the fighting and save us all. God answered that prayer. But it wasn't what we wanted. God crafted a sword that is proof of the person's right to save the land and rule the West. God placed the sword in a stone somewhere close by Camelot. The one that pulls the sword out of the stone will save us or conquer us. The golden sword of the victorious, Caliburn. Arturia said as she recounted that fairy tale. Surprising Naruto. Come to me, said the mysterious voice. Naruto still ignores it. That is part of it. Time forgot about one thing. Merlin said, getting a surprised look from Arturia. Legend says that a man that done the impossible would be the one to unite the lands. Gathering both the girls focus on Naruto. What? I mean, I didn't do anything impossible. How can I be the one? Naruto said as he begins to wave his hand in denial. You did cross the border between the East and West. That alone is said to be impossible. I saw you crossing the wall, so I followed you ever since then. You should at least try to pull out the sword. The world needs a king. A fair and just king. So far, Naruto, you are a kind man. You chosen to not kill the ghoul that ran into you, you saved anyone that was in danger, and you have yet to kill anyone when you crossed. Merlin said with confidence in him being the one. What? Arturia shouted in deep surprise. You are telling me that you haven't killed anyone in the West, but you have killed people in the East. People in the West are more dangerous and shouldn't be left to kill others. I don't care about that. I gave them the chance to leave and not harm anyone. They took it and that was enough to satisfy me. Like I said, that sound like an ideal king for a peaceful world. At least try to pull out the sword. You have met all the qualification to draw the sword. And most importantly, you would be the one to unite the West instead of conquer it. Merlin said, there is still a problem. No one has found Caliburn. It is said to be in the forest by Camelot. That is why I live here. To find it and stop the fighting. Arturia said with pride, while Naruto smiling at her. Having the same thought if he had Caliburn. It was meant to be for the once and future king. Do you really believe that anyone can find it? Merlin said as she scoffed at Arturia's statement. Wait, you mean? Yes, I believe that Naruto would be able to find it. He is most likely the one to find the sword, so the sword may call him out, Merlin said, but was cut in by a hand raise. By Naruto's hand. Ah, ladies, I have been hearing a voice since I woke up. I think it may relate to Caliburn, said Naruto, looking sheepish. Widened both the women's eye. Really? Shouted Arturia. Don't lie. Did you truly hear a voice? Asked Merlin with a serious voice. Why yeah. It keeps on saying, find me, for a while. Then after hearing about Caliburn, it said, come to me, Naruto said. It must be true then. Arturia said, you are the one to save us, as she hold his hand. Let's follow it then, said Merlin. Getting a nod from the two as they get up and followed Naruto. A few hours of walking around the forest. I'm beginning to think you're leading us on a wild goose chase, Naruto. Said a tired Arturia. Merlin continued to walk. Then both stop. Arturia didn't notice them stop and crash into Naruto. Causing the two to fall over. Hey, why did you stop? Arturia yelled at Naruto, but look at what is in front of them. A golden sword stuck in a large boulder. Is that? Yes, Merlin replied with a smile. The power it's giving off can only be from the legend. Naruto just walk up to it. Claim us, said Caliburn, surprising the two girls, making them believe that Naruto is the one. Naruto walked up to the stone. He slowly gripped the sword. He pulled the sword out and a bright golden shine blinded everyone. It's so warm, said Arturia as she felt Caliburn's light. Finally, we are saved, Merlin said as she smiled at him with cross-arm. Ah! Naruto screamed in pain. Naruto! Both girls shouted. Naruto started to scream in pain. Pulling Caliburn out of the stone did something to Naruto. Do you really expect that a simple man is able to wield the weapon the god herself crafted? Arturia and Merlin can only worry about Naruto. Merlin was analyzing the entire situation, while Arturia was trying to reach him. Arturia couldn't get close. The pressure that Caliburn was giving off was too much for the girl to get close. Lady Merlin, we have to do something. I can't stand hear him screaming in agony any longer, shouted Arturia with terror in her eyes. For the short time she met him, she could tell that the two have a lot in common. Most likely becoming friends quickly. What can we do? Caliburn is stronger than any of us. It is clearly doing something to Naruto. After a pause to think over it, Naruto is from the east. His body isn't capable of handling power like the one you've seen in the west. Caliburn must be rebuilding his body. But Naruto is weak. He is not like us. He will need this transformation. The only thing we can do is wait. Merlin said as she wait for Naruto transformation to be done. Arturia can only watch in pain. She felt helpless. There is someone in front of her in pain and she is incapable of helping them. A feeling that she hated. Arturia always wanted to live in a world where there isn't anyone trying to harm each other. A fair and just world. A world that the legend always talked about. During her childhood, she always dreamed of being the person that pulls out the sword out of the stone. Now, she realizes it is the blonde man that is destined to achieve her dream. A dream that Naruto could agree with. After 10 more minutes of shining light, Naruto's transformation is finally done. He already fell unconscious about 4 minutes ago. The pain was too much for him to handle. As soon as Naruto fell with Caliburn in his hand, Arturia ran to him to check up on him. He is alive, Arturia said, sounding relieved. He will need rest. However, this is a problem. Merlin said as she frowned as she scanned his body with her magic. What is it, Lady Merlin? Beside his missing whisker mark. Merlin said while Arturia looks disappointed. She kinda like his whiskers. It made him look cute. Let it be known that Arturia Britain will never admit that she likes cute things. He has a new power. He has magic network, magic circuit, so he is a mage. She confusingly asked, using the on of many terms for magic container. As there is no official system for magic, many people use many terms for magic and anything relating to magic. Yes and no. He is a mage, but that transformation is something else. Sensing him, he's more different than a standard mage. His magical signature is more along the line as angelic magic. Like the angels from heaven. She asked, getting a nod from her. Grab him. He needs rest. Hold on. Are you gonna leave me behind? Said a beautiful woman with red hair, 9 tails. Arturia drew her sword and pointed it at her. Who are you and state your business here? Demanded Arturia, while Merlin brings up Alden. Her sacred treasure, a small crystal ball. Merlin sensed her demonic power and it isn't something to take lightly. Merlin is no doubt stronger than the new woman, but with Naruto unconscious, she couldn't risk his safety. Really? I'm hurt. Naruto was talking about me to you guys a few hours ago. Who else can be a beautiful redhead like me? She said with a fox grin. After giving it a few minutes. Kurama. Both blurted out. Bingo, she sang out as she spins around like a little girl showing off her dress, but Kurama is showing off, her assets. How did you get out? To my understanding, you were forever trapped into the blonde. Merlin asked as she lowered her crystal ball. So did Arturia, as she sheathed her sword. No idea, but my guess it had to do with the golden sword. She pointed to the sword in Naruto's hand. Getting the other two to look at Caliburn. Of course it was me, said a voice coming from Caliburn. I use the voice of Ilya's fragment, or more commonly known as Ilya from Trinity 7. Widening the eyes of everyone looking at it. You talk. All three said in unison. Do you really expect that a weapon created by God herself to not be sentient? I mean, people will come challenge Master to claim me. I can only be wielded by Master and others that is approved by him. Giving time for the three to absorb the newfound information. I sense that Master doesn't desire you to be trapped, Lady Kurama, so I freed you, by giving him magic source to compensate for your departure from Master. The source that Master received are special. They are personally designed by God, so he will be a great mage if he wishes. What truly matters is that he has more power to fulfill his destiny. I'm sorry for not informing about what I was doing, I was quite tired. Waiting in the stone for thousands of years tend to make someone sleepy. The two girls just blink at them. Kurama was too busy enjoying her freedom to care about the how part. Of course it is. Kurama yipped in happiness as she skipped around. I guess it is okay. Arturia said as she sounded unsure how to respond. She still doesn't fully trust any other race. As long as it helps at the end. I'm fine with it. Merlin, finally absorbing the latest news. Arturia carried Naruto back to her home, while the other two just talk. Merlin couldn't let thousands of years of knowledge go without finding out something for herself. Caliburn was in her sheath. Hello, Caliburn said as she gains everyone's attention in Arturia's small home. I'm new here, but all of you know the legend, right? Getting a nod from the two humans. So Master will accept his role to unite the land. Getting a nod from Kurama. Knowing her former host for the longest time and how he wants to help people. I watch the land from the beginning. The only way he has a chance if Master gains more power. I recommend starting with gaining the aid of the pair heavenly dragons. What? How can we get those two monsters to help unite the land? They spent their time destroying than helping, shouted Arturia. Not liking the plan already. Calm down. That is true, Albion and Diedrig has been raising the land for a long time. However, they were sent with me by God, so they will answer to Master if he shows me. They are loyal to the once and future king. Now he finally arrives. They will accept him as their master. However, they may test him, so Master should focus on gaining power, getting a nod in agreement from the three. 4 days later. Naruto moans in pain as he finally wakes up. What happened to me? As he begins to get up and look around the room. Only seeing a sword. Oh Master. You are finally awake. Caliburn said in glee. Blink blink okay, back to sleep. I'm still dreaming. Naruto went back under the covers. How rude, Master. I'm real. This isn't a dream. Then how are you talking? Swords don't talk. As he pointed at the sword. Simple. I was created by God. Blink fine. You are real. He accepted. Any creation of God is special, so this should have been expected. So what do I call you? Caliburn is fine Master. Oh, I should mention that I modified you. What? He shouted in disbelief. He didn't like the idea of messing his biology. Sorry Master. You are weak. The word stabbed him right in the heart. Human, another attack to his heart. That lacks power, and another strike, and can't take on anyone on this side of the world alone. And finally bringing Naruto down to the ground on his knees crying. I don't mean to hurt your feelings Master. I did some good for you. Is there anything else different with me? He said weakly. Still weak from her words hitting his pride. Your eye color change. Really? What color are they now? Well, one eye is still blue. Your other eye is red now. I believe that the red eye represent your newfound magical power. That is great. At least I will be able to stand out now. So what is this great magical power that I have? Not really caring about his now heterochromatic eyes. He actually found it cool. Well, your magical source are special. They were designed by God. Widening Naruto's eye. They have the power to connect to the king's treasury. I believe she called it, Gate of Babylon. It is a special gate that only you can summon. It's a pocket dimension that holds every weapon ever created. God believed that the treasure of the world belongs to her chosen one. That is you. So let me get this straight. I can summon any weapon I want that has been ever created. Yes. Even the one in the east. Yes. Hell yeah. A whole arsenal of the greatest weapons sound badass. Naruto shouted in happiness. Hey, Kurama. Did you hear that? He got no response from her. Kurama, still no response. Oh, Master, getting his attention. Due to the immense power of your new circuits, I was able to safely release Lady Kurama from her imprisonment. She, as well as the Lady Arturia and Lady Merlin are out now. Really? Please don't lie. Naruto screamed, not wanting to believe this to be a lie. He always wanted her to be free. Yes, they will return at the end of the day. Although, Lady Merlin had to leave. She said, she needed to rebuild the 7 deadly sins for the upcoming war. What war? He said with worry. The Unity War. You will be fighting to unite the land, right? After a minute of silence. What? I can't fight in a war. They are too powerful. I mean, I want peace in the West, but I can't do it. Now, you have new powers and you can train to become stronger. Lady Kurama told us about your desire to see the races living together in peace. If you train hard, it will become a reality. Also, it's your destiny to rule the West. You pulling me from the stone is proof. I'm just happy that you're a fair and just man. Making him smile. I'm in. So how are we gonna do this? Asked Naruto with fire in his eyes. First, you will be training in swordsmanship with me and Lady Arturia. Master, I believe she is quite taken with you in the short time you spent with her, making him blush. He found her beautiful. Then Lady Kurama will be teaching you tactics and understanding the other races with Lady Merlin. Lady Merlin will appear when she wants. Who will teach me magic? Oh, Lady Merlin went to talk to one of the noble family remaining that knows magecraft. You shouldn't learn any form of magic. Your circuits are designed to learn magic. There is one family that offered to teach you. I'm sensing but it isn't a family. It is more of a person. The Tasaka family. There is only one person left. Her name is Rin Tasaka. She is about your age, but is a genius when it comes to magic. Okay, I can handle that. Is there something else I should know? One last thing. Arturia said she will be joining your adventure from now on. What? Time skip 3 years. It has been 3 years since Naruto pulled Caliburn from the stone. 3 years since he started his training with his friends to prepare himself before he starts his conquest. He became a great swordsman during his training period. He mastered Caliburn to an extent that he can summon enough holy power to defeat ultimate class devil. However, training wasn't the only thing that he focused on the 3 years. He spent his time with Arturia, where they got close. To the point it was obvious that they love each other, but were too afraid to admit it or change their relationship. Then he learned how to be a mage under the tutoring of Rin Tasaka. The twin-tailed girl in red was a great teacher for Naruto. Her harsh teaching really got through his thick head. However, she still had trouble handling any more current technology like the radio that was common in both East and West. She ended up destroying it when someone tried to call them. Also, they became great friends. Then she grew some feelings for him, but she was a tsundere, so it was hard for her to admit her feelings. Naruto always got insulted and hit by her when he got close to her. The two girls knew that they both liked Naruto and Naruto couldn't choose one of them because he didn't want to hurt any of them. He cared for them both too much to satisfy his love life. So they agreed to share Naruto with any other girl that genuinely loves him like themselves. That was the start of Naruto's harem. Although, it was a great thing for him, he said that Arturia will always be his first love and nothing can change that. Of course Rin understood that, but that didn't change her being a tsundere. Even Merlin decided to pop back in. She has found another member of the sins. She found Escanor for the lion's sin of pride. It fitted him perfectly with his weird split personality during the day and night. Although he is the strongest human, he wasn't given the sin of wrath to be captain. There was someone else to fit that position. She needed to find him. Even though she was searching for members, she found someone unexpected. She found a goddess. The Lady of the Lake, Lady Vivian. The ruler of Avalon knew of the legend of Naruto becoming king, so she decided to aid him. She ordered Merlin to bring Naruto to her. She gave Naruto a holy sword, but not just any holy sword. The sword of promised victory. The sword forged by the planet is the crystallization of the wishes of mankind stored and tempered within the planet. A sword that formed from the prayer of victory from all races and brought into reality by fairies. It was a sword specifically crafted for him and only him. Along with Excalibur, she gave him the scabbard of Excalibur, Avalon. Avalon grants the ultimate defense against anyone. Even against time to a certain extent. Avalon is capable of extending the youth of a person, which he shared with the girls. Plus there is the amazing healing effect that surpassed the healing capabilities of Jinchuriki. After receiving Excalibur, he gave Caliburn to Arturia. She couldn't accept it, but Naruto countered with the power she will need and as a token of being the first woman he ever loved. After hearing a love-felt speech she accepted Caliburn. Naruto knew how much Arturia always dreamt of pulling the sword in the stone and becoming a noble knight. She now owns the sword she always wanted since her childhood. Of course she couldn't stop thanking Naruto. Naruto didn't get any sleep during the night and Rin was angrier than ever the next morning. Even after mastering Excalibur, he still used his Gate of Babylon. He mastered a few weapons in his treasury like Gai Bolg, Ea, and Enkidu. Although he usually uses the gate as a projectile weapon, he would summon the gate and fire the weapons at a rapid speed to take down his enemies. When experimenting with the Gate of Babylon, Rin noticed his circuit doesn't connect to the dimension that hold the treasury. It was himself that connects to the gate. It only brought her a lot of questions about the once and future king because this is the first evidence in both East and West that it was the person, not the power, that allows such a miracle to happen. He developed his own technique to counter any physical or magical attack. He called it Banishing Shift. Banishing Shift is a skill which could only be unleashed as a counter of an opponent's attack, could repel or disperse any kind of attack, physical or magical. Its true form is able to erase everything to the zero dimension, erase anything to nothingness. The perfect technique against any powerful attacks, but Naruto only uses it when necessary. He prefers the challenge of the battle and sees that technique as a last resort. Or when he is too lazy to deal with an attack. After finishing his training, he and his friends went to the wall that divided the world. There stood Naruto in a black armor resembling that of a knight, Berserker's armor from Fate Zero. Lancelot's armor while it's still black, Arturia in her armor, the same armor in Fate Stay Night, and Rin in her usual red turtleneck shirt, black skirt, and long black socks under brown leather flats. Kurama decided to sleep inside of Naruto. Even though she is free, she is still part magical creature and kitsune. That means she is very lazy. She spent most of her time in Naruto because it's no longer the sewer prison for her. It changed to more of a hotel now. So we are gonna go back to your old home? Rin asked. Yup, the blonde said. Will they be able to recognize you? Arturia asked. Afraid if someone sees him, they will take him away. Not really. I have heterochromia eyes now and the whiskers are gone. I also have this helmet. He pulls out his knight helmet and shows her. Making Arturia a little sad. She still miss his whisker mark. One day, Naruto brought back a puppy back to the Tasaka's estate, where they were living and Arturia went full-on girl mode and played with the dog all day long. Rin never let it go. Naruto found it cute. Both never stopped teasing her about it. Don't worry master, no one can harm you with me here. A voice came from Excalibur I use the voice of Astal Manuscript or more commonly known as Sora from Trinity 7 on Naruto left side of his waist. Me too. Even though I serve Lady Arturia now, I will always come to your aid. Caliburn exclaimed from the side of Arturia. Why are we heading to the other side by the way? I mean, it's weaker world compared to ours, according to your stories. Don't get me wrong, I want to see how different it is from here myself, asked Rin. I wanted to see some people before we start the war. It may be the last time I see them, he gave with a sad smile. Don't worry, we will survive the upcoming war. No matter what happen, we will get through it together, as Arturia hugs him to comfort him. Thank you, as he hugs her back. Okay, it's time to go through the wall. I'm a little excited to see the other side, said Rin with some glee. Naruto placed his hand on the wall while channeling Kurama's chakra into it to open the doorway. Then a door opened like a spiral portal opening up. The group walked through to see Naruto's world. The first thing that came to mind is, it's hot, both girls said with a deadpan tone. We are in a desert. Rin, don't you have something for this heat? Being in the armor is kinda cooking me alive here, he asked Rin. I do have some jewels that will keep us cool in the heat, as she hands out a blue jewel for her friends. Much better, Naruto shouted in relief. Wearing a full-blown knight armor isn't a good idea under the sun. First off, we head to the village hidden in the sand. As he pointed toward the village. They didn't take long to get there. Naruto summoned Byakko again to give him a quick ride there. It only took a few hours to reach the village. However, when they arrived, they came to a bloodied scene. Debris and some dead bodies were at the gate. It looked like they were recently attacked. Only Temari was at the front gate, waiting for a squad. What happened here? Naruto shouted at her, while wearing his helmet to hide his identity. Rin and Arturia just stayed behind and let Naruto do the talking. Halt! State your business. Temari shouted back while preparing her fan. Not sure if they are friendly or not, due to the current circumstance. So you don't remember me? He asked while shaking his head. Only for Temari to look confused. I guess wearing the armor is a good idea to hide who I am, as he begins to take off his helmet. Temari saw the blonde hair and one blue eye and said, Naruto. Still not sure due to the missing whiskers and the red eye. It wasn't uncommon to have a shinobi get a transplanted eye due to the life of a shinobi. So you do remember me? He exclaimed. I came here to see Gaara. So what happened? Naruto. You were alive. We thought you died since no one could find you. She came up to give him a hug. Right now Gaara been kidnapped. Can you help us? What? Where is he? Just tell me where he went and I will get him back. Naruto said with concern for his friend. Just follow me. Kankuro and I are about to go and rescue him. Naruto and his team followed. On the way to rescue Gaara, Naruto learned a lot. He learned that a terrorist group, the Akatsuki, are gathering the tailed beast for some kind of plan. Gaara was the start of the plan. Naruto told her that he'd been over the wall and have been living on the other side of the world. She couldn't believe it, but Rin and Arturia supported his claim. Also, Excalibur and Caliburn were very good at convincing non-believers. Temari still couldn't believe that Naruto is destined for something as big as this. To become king of the West was unbelievable. Temari also told him about what has happened after his banishment. The Leaf Village lost their treaties with Land of Waves, Land of Spring or was called before Land of Snow, village hidden in the waterfall, and the village hidden in the sand as well. News got out about his unjust banishment. The entire Land of Fire went into an economic decline. The Fire Daimyo wasn't pleased with the loss of treaties. He went to the Leaf and threw a tantrum at the council. He ended up cutting 30% of the annual budget. Then he ordered Naruto Namikaze to return and lifted his banishment. Too bad that Naruto Namikaze never existed. Naruto was never accepted by the Namikaze or Uzumaki, and during the trial, Minato only referred to Naruto as only Naruto, so giving a surname now was pointless. Jiraiya used his spy network to find him, but couldn't find Naruto anywhere, so it was concluded that he died. It was a good thing he was wearing a helmet, so that no one trustworthy can now that he is alive, including the Akatsuki. However, the current problem is saving Gaara, and they already broken off the alliance with the Leaf, so there is no aid from them. Well, as they now. The Leaf are more than aware than the Akatsuki's movement. They knew about Gaara's attack, so they could have planned for something. Bloody hell. It sucks to be a Leaf ninja now, said Naruto. Bloody hell. Temari asked with a question mark on her head. Just a term used often in the West. It grew on me. Naruto replied. That explain your new accent. It completely different from anything I heard, said Temari. I find it cute, said Arturia. I call it going native. Rin stated. Naruto quickly adjust life to the West no problem. Even with the strict laws on traveling due to the ongoing war, he still had a nice time in the towns nearby. It was quite refreshing seeing the children playing and enjoying life instead of training to prepare for an upcoming war. Throughout shinobi history, shinobi were in an endless conflict as well till the shinobi system was established. Once established, the war became worse than ever before. The only good thing about the system is the time of peace that came after the massive death toll on shinobi population, not counting civilian population. A good 10 or so years to rebuild their numbers. Lord Naruto, I sense the presence of another just like you, said Caliburn. That has to be Gaara. Naruto as he approached a river with a large boulder in the way. Then suddenly, what are you doing here, Leaf Shinobi? Temari growled when she saw Kakashi, Guys, Mito, Sakura, Neji, Lee, Tenten, and Sai, Naruto's Sasuke's replacement. Ma, we are here to help, Kakashi said, trying to be friendly. He focused his attention on the man in a suit of metal armor. Unable to sense who he is due to his lack of chakra. I'm more worried about your friend in the armor. He seems weak, making Rin and Arturia a little mad for the insult of their boyfriend. Something that Kankuro bitch about when he talked to the girls, and who wear a full body armor. Only a samurai would wear one. It was the common belief that shinobi were superior to samurai in every way, but that was a lie they tell themselves. Samurai take their training far more seriously, so a single samurai could give a chunin a death battle. There are rumors that the samurai survive Hanzo, the salamander, when many powerful shinobi died against him, not including Konoha's Sannin, where they were spared. No is not the time to debate about this. All you need to know is that we are allies with the Sand and came to their aid. You, however, shouldn't be here. The Akatsuki moved too fast for you guys to come for the rescue. So that means you planned this, Naruto said in his armor while crossing his arms. Is it a problem that we are helping? Mito asked. She may have not agreed with this tactic, but accepted it because it was for Konoha according to her father. Yes, it is. We don't trust the Leaf. You could be here to kidnap Gaara and hold him hostage or take his biju away. Kankuro sneered at them, making a couple flinch. It was public knowledge that Mito couldn't control the chakra of the Nine Tails chakra, so many thought the Leaf will steal another's tailed beast for a proper Jinchuriki. How unyouthful. We are here to help, Guy said, trying to calm them down. Ah, Master, Excalibur said, surprising the Leaf ninjas and making Tenten more intrigued with a talking sword. The signal just died. Gaara, Naruto, Temari, and Kankuro shouted in panic. Enough. Rin and I will watch the Leaf ninja. Saber, you will go with the Sand ninja to get Gaara, Arturia said to regain command of the situation. It was also decided that Naruto will go by Saber when they aren't alone due to the order on Naruto. It will be bad if Naruto was forcefully taken back to the Leaf. Getting a nod from the three. Excalibur, get ready. We are busting up that rock and killing whoever is in there, Naruto said as he drew Excalibur from Avalon. Everyone could feel the sheer power that Excalibur was giving off, making the Leaf shinobi more intrigued. Naruto then sliced through the boulder. It won't work. Your sword can't cut through the seal that the Akatsuki placed, Kakashi said with a smug eye smile. Only to have a few Leaf shinobi to laugh at this attempt, but soon stop. Saber cut the boulder in half like it was nothing, opening the entrance and allowing everyone to jump in, leaving the Leaf ninjas shocked at seeing what they had seen. A sword like that could be helpful to the Leaf. Plus it can talk. It can gives us a lot of information, Kakashi thought while he plans to steal Excalibur, believing that Naruto is weak because of his armor and the girls useless. They didn't give any chakra out, so he automatically thought they are weak. Even a newborn child have more chakra than any of those three. He thought as well. Well, look at this. The nine-tailed Jinchuriki finally arrived. Now, the blonde-haired bomber, Deidre said while sitting on top of Gaara's body. Get the hell off him, you bastard, Naruto shouted as he gripped Excalibur. Who is gonna make me, Deidre taunted, shifting his attention to the armored individual. Then he saw many gold ripples appear behind Saber. With swords, axes, spears, and many weapons came out of them. That was when the Leaf ninjas jump in to only witness Saber's power. What the hell is that, thought everyone, but Rin and Arturia. The two only gave a smug smile that they saw. Let me show you what happens when you hurt my friends. Naruto fired one of his weapon at them at incredible speed, making Deidre jump away. What the hell is that? Deidre shouted in surprise. He saw the hole behind him and it was deep and large. Something that a sword can't ever do. Ha ha ha. Time to show you the power of a king. As Naruto fired more projectile at the two members, he managed to force Deidre onto his bird and destroyed Sasori's puppet. Damn you. King or not, I will make you pay for destroying that puppet. Sasori shouted in anger as he pulled out another puppet. Rin, can you save Gaara? Getting a nod from her. Good. Go revive him. It will be good to see an old friend again. Naruto ordered her and she complied. Arturia, Kankuro, Tamari, watch the Leaf Ninjas and protect Rin. She revived me once before, she can save him from death. I will handle the Akatsuki members. Getting a nod from the three. It was true that Naruto was revived by Rin. Naruto was killed by Escanor one time and she used one of her best jewel to save him. She had another just in case for moments like this. That day, he learned that you be very respectful to Ikaner during the day. What? Are you crazy? You can't handle the Akatsuki by yourself. Mito shouted at Naruto, worried for the supposed weakling. Don't doubt my power, girl. Naruto said as he faced Mito. I am a king. He is no match for me. Like hell we are. Deidre shouted as he charged against Naruto. Deidre had orders to focus on the nine-tailed Jinchuriki, but Naruto was pissing him off. Kakashi ordered his team not to interfere, so he could see Saber's power. Kakashi has never seen anything like this before and need to collect information on the self-proclaimed king. Plus, he hoped Naruto would be killed, so he can take his sword for the leaf. His home was facing a crisis with the lack of power, so a power sword like Excalibur would help them. Naruto just launched more projectile at Deidre and destroyed his bird. Then Sasori summoned the third cage to fight. However, the iron sand wasn't strong enough to fight against Naruto's weapons. He ended up destroying the cage puppet. How dare you? That puppet was one of the rarest of have. Damn you. Don't think you beaten me yet. Deidre prepared a dragon made of clay and Sasori revealed himself to be a puppet. The people watching can watch in awe. Okay. I got a heartbeat. Gaara should be okay now. He will need rest. There is no injury left that I haven't fixed on him. Rin said as she finished bringing back Gaara. Thank you, Tamari cried out while hugging her. Yeah, thanks. Kankuro said as he smiled at her as he checked on Gaara. He was relieved to see him breathing. Of course, I only did it for that idiot up there. I swear, he likes to show off. Rin said as she shakes her head in disagreement with Naruto flaunting his power right now. Excuse me Ems. Sakura asked trying to find out she brought back a dead person without the resurrection jutsu. Rin Tasaka are in your culture, Tasaka Rin. Ms. Tasaka. How did you bring him back? I checked. The cage's heart stopped and he was dead. Sakura asked, extremely intrigued due to her being a medic. That isn't your concern. It's a technique that belongs to my family, she said. That is impossible. There is no bloodline that can bring back the dead. Sakura retorted. She knew many healing jutsu and healing bloodline, but none to bring back the dead. According to her master, Tsunade Senju, you can't heal the dead to bring them back. She should now, she tried. I never said, bloodline. I said it's a family technique. Rin said as flaunt her twin-tail hair. Boom. A loud explosion came from the fight between the Akatsuki pair and Naruto. Naruto just stopped using the gate as a projectile and started to Enkidu and Excalibur to fight them. Naruto used the chains of heaven, Enkidu, to latch onto the clay dragon and bring it down in front of him, so the flamethrower that Sasori fired at him hit it instead of Naruto. He's a tough son of a bitch. Deidre shouted to Sasori as he jumped to his side after his dragon being defeated. I had enough of you. Sasori screamed. He lost his patience when dealing with the Lone King. He pulled out a scroll and summoned 100 puppets. Deidre lost all hope already. When Naruto used his chains, he pulled out his arm out of his body when the dragon came crashing down. Do you think that an army is enough to stop this king? Naruto said with a lot of arrogance in his voice. As he drew Excalibur. Get ready, he whispered to Excalibur. Excalibur just glowed in response. I took down entire villages with this jutsu. You will be no problem. Sasori said as he laughed. Deidara already left him to save himself and to inform the others. Deidara was smart enough to know when he lost. Naruto just raised his sword. Then everyone paid attention to Naruto and Excalibur. It was giving off a golden shine. A beautiful shine that no one couldn't resist looking at it. Golden light started to appear all around the entire room, like droplets. Then some people started to hear some voices. Kakashi just stared at the sword. With such beauty, how couldn't he? Then he heard a voice. Son. An older version of Kakashi without a mask appeared. He just gave Kakashi a sad smile and shake his head. Disappointed about what he has done. Kakashi could only let a single tear fall out. Then Guy looked at a man that looked like him, but with a mustache and a beard. I'm proud of you, as he gave a thumbs up to his son. Guy started to cry tears of youth. Neji saw his father. The same father that sacrificed himself to save his brother. He just smiled at him, making Neji cry. Sasori was ready to attack him to stop that next attack. The sheer power is enough to win. However, Mom, Dad, he said as he saw his parents. He looked very sad because his parents were smiling at him. No matter what, his dad said as he hugs him on the left side of his body. We will love you, his mom said as he hugs him on the right side of his body. Sasori started to cry, but he had no eyes or tears. Then all the spirits disappear. What was that? Mito said while stuttering as she pointed to Excalibur. As well as the others as they too witnessed those dead people. While one could say there are many other swords crafted more splendidly and with better skill, this sword is an illusion far, far superior to them. You calling it beautiful would dirty its appearance. It is instead something sacred, forged from people's conceptions, legends weaved only out of hope. Arturia said with such compassion. She continued. It is a crystal trained by the alone of mankind, making it reign as the strongest fantasy. The crystallization of the prayer glory and all the things etched in the hearts of those who are scattered at the sword's exuberance, the nostalgic, the sorrowful, and hallowed dreams of those who found themselves on the bloody hell called a sword represents a desire of all warriors, past, present, and future whom have been fully exposed to the nightmares of the battlefield. And that desire, to be exalted, Arturia added, the most one out of the two that knew more of holy swords. Its name transcends all boundaries. Time and space, cultures and languages, nations and borders, for its name is. Arturia finished. Naruto shouted as he raised his sword, preparing to strike down the army. Sasori sent all his puppets to attack after getting over seeing his parents. Caliber. He swung his sword down, destroying all of the puppets, including Sasori. Sasori only smiled and welcomed the golden light that is here to claim his life. I'm coming, Mom. Dad, he thought with a smile. Naruto saw that smiled. Find peace and happiness in the ever-distant utopia. And the ever-distant utopia is Avalon. The afterlife. If that is wrong, I don't care. It is what Naruto believe in. Naruto said fast enough so Sasori can hear him. Even against people he doesn't like, Naruto is kind enough to pray for his enemy to rest in peace. Thank you, my king. Sasori finally accepted him as a king. Being destroyed by his attack, Naruto let a smile out. The blast left a massive hole in the side of the mountain they were in. Naruto headed to Gaara to check on him. Then Kakashi walked up to him, but Rin got in front of him. Would you like to join the Hidden Leaf Village? Kakashi asked, trying to get a powerful people in the hands of the leaf. Huh, you think I would abandon my family? I know all about your reputation and it isn't noble at all. We are a family. We never abandon our own. Rin said as she gave a smirk at them when they widened their eyes to hear her devotion to her family. The family of Naruto and Arturia. I asked kindly, but it seems that you left me no choice. Kakashi said as he drew his kunai. As did the rest of the Konoha shinobi. Kankuro and Temari got ready for battle. Naruto wasn't paying attention, he was picking up Gaara. However, Arturia was already a step ahead. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Arturia said as she has Caliburn ready to slice Mito's throat. She knew that the daughter of the Hokage is worth a lot in the bounty station. Naruto told the girls that the shinobi system ran more like a mercenary guild instead of an actual government. I didn't sense her, thought Kakashi and Neji. The best sensors of the squad didn't see a girl get behind them and set herself in a position to kill them. I'll say it once. Back off or you will be at war with us. The Leaf sent 2 squad to fight 2 members of the Akatsuki and we only need 1 person to fight the pair of criminals. Do you really think that you stand a chance? She asked the group, after giving it a moment to think about their situation. Everyone, we are going back to the Leaf. Kakashi ordered, surprising his team. They knew how important the mission was to their village. What? We can't leave yet. The Akatsukis are a threat. We can take them here and now. Plus those strange people have incredible powers. If we, Mito shouted before being cut off. She understood the need of the village outweighs her own needs and morals. Do that and you will be starting war with the sand. They are our allies and promised to help us in our need. We won't abandon them. Temari shouted at her, believing that allying with Naruto would pay off in the long run. We can't start a war over a few people. Fall back, Kakashi ordered as all the remaining Leaf ninjas left. In an open field with the sand group. What is that? Gaara thought as he felt some pain. I thought I died. Still feeling pain that feels like someone kicking him. Oi, wake, you're making your friend and family worry, Sleeping Beauty. A voice came to his ear. Gaara begins to open his eye. Only to see a man in a suit of black armor. Who are you? Gaara asked when facing a stranger after being kidnapped by the Akatsuki. Gaara. Temari dove right into her little brother's arm for a hug. Temari, he said in surprise. What happened? I saved you, came from the man in armor. Well, more like she saved you. As he gestured to Rin. May, I know the name of the person that rescued me. I didn't expect you to remember me after all this time. Of course the armor doesn't help. Getting a confused look from the redhead. You can call me Saber when I'm wearing the helmet, but, he pulled out his helmet. Gaara just saw blonde hair and red-blue eyes. You can call me Naruto, widening Gaara's eyes. I thought you died. Gaara stuttered as he is seeing his first friend in 3 years. Let's keep it that way. I don't need any attention on me now, he said with his trademark grin as he offered his hand to get up. You have always been the unpredictable one, my old friend, as a reach up to grab it. Hokage Tower in the Hidden Leaf Village, 3 days later. There in the Hokage's office, Minato, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Kushina awaits for Team Kakashi and Team Guy. Jiraiya gathered intel on the Akatsuki's first target, Gaara. Minato planned for rescuing the Kazekage and having the village sign an agreement where the sand sell the precious metals only found in the land of wind at a price of their choosing and an alliance where only the Leaf benefit. The Leaf didn't have the power they had before and their economy was falling with their lack of power. They needed money and power to bring the Leaf back on top of the shinobi world. Report Kakashi, Minato commanded with a frown. Not seeing the Kazekage in with them didn't sit well with him. You are not going to like this, sensei, said a tried Kakashi. Okay. Everyone, but Kakashi, Guy, and Mito are dismissed. One explanation later. So, this Saber managed to fight 2 of the most destructive ninja capable of jutsus to level battalions by themselves and managed to kill one and cripple the other, getting a nod from Kakashi. Also he has this odd ability that forms gold ripples out of thin air and weapons of incredible power shot out of it to fight the 2. Another nod. Then, he has a friend that is capable of bringing back the dead without Orochimaru's resurrection jutsu and another person capable of sneaking behind and in a position ready to kill Mito. Another nod and an embarrassed look from Mito. She was a proud shinobi of the Leaf and she allowed someone that was in their eyes, a dead body moving, in a position to be killed. She was trained to be the best. After finding out that every time that she uses the slightest amount of the Kyuubi's chakra, she goes berserk. No matter how many seals and training she had, it was simply impossible. It was theorized by Jiraiya that they needed the Kyuubi's soul to have some form of control on the chakra. Without the soul, the chakra is pure unrefined power that only knows how to cause destruction. Then hearing about a sword capable of summoning dead spirits interested Minato, Kushina, Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Something that Minato decided to file in his head. He is the others' lost people and wanted to see them. A sword capable of doing those deeds is something that they all want. Lastly, he and the two girls that shown amazing power didn't show any signs of a large chakra reserve. No chakra at all. I used my Sharingan and saw no chakra or even a chakra coil. Neji saw nothing at all. It was as if they weren't there at all, looking ashamed. He is one of the best the Leaf has to offer and he couldn't figure out the power level of 3 people. That's impossible. You need chakra to be alive, Tsunade stated, an expert on the anatomy of the shinobi body. Ah. As he rubbed his head. Do you know anything about them? He asked the 3. The sword of the girl and that guy, Saber, can talk. Just by seeing one of the sword's power, we can assume the other one holds great power, said Kakashi. They're allied with Sand. They seem to be a mercenary group by looking at how youthful they are with each other. Guy said with his usual attitude. The 3 look like they work with each other for a long time. Not seeing a headband, he guessed that they are a group fighting for a paycheck. After a few minutes to think. I can't allow these people to walk around freely. I will declare them as missing ninjas and put him in the bingo book. Surprising Guy, Mito, and Kakashi. Jiraiya and Tsunade look like he expected this due to them understanding the balance of power and these 3 put the balance in danger. Kushina just nodded in agreement with her husband. Dad, you can't do that. That's against the international law. Mito shouted, more shock at her own father action. Sir, you can't do that. They aren't part of the Leaf or any village. Plus, they haven't done anything wrong, added Guy in protest to the idea. Labeling a ninja as a missing ninja can only be done if they are part of the village that they betrayed. Also they haven't committed any crimes and Minato was ready to lie about it. It doesn't matter. Mito, they have power that we need. This is all for Konoha. I don't want their power anywhere, but here in the village. I will say that they were part of the Leaf before and stole those 2 swords. They will get a capture order. Minato told them. Mito accepted his answer. That tells you how far a shinobi, child or not, would go for their village. All their life, since birth, they were raised to give everything for their village, so it was uncommon to see such a blind acceptance. Sensei, I think it won't work. The majority of the elemental nation are already on bad terms with us. They won't believe what we put in the bingo book. They will just ignore the order and take to them for themselves, said Kakashi. Already noticing the major flaw in his plan to capture some powerful ninjas. It doesn't matter. I will declare war on any nations that tries to take them from us. They have incredible power, so that makes them part of the Hidden Leaf. Minato said without hesitation. After a few years of being Hokage, he adopted the belief that power belongs to the Leaf. Seeing the last Uzumaki, last Senju, last Uchiha, and the legendary Sannin are part of the Hidden Leaf, all power belongs to them. He became blind with power, only seeing any form of power should be under his control. I fear that we are going to go to war soon if Sensei doesn't change. Kakashi thought, Guy as well. The only person close to the Hokage that started to see the error of the village. In the Sand Village, in the Cage's tower. This is a lot to take in. On the way back to the village from the Land of Rivers, I think that is where Gaara was taken. Naruto told Gaara what happened to him. He went over the wall. The most mysterious thing for the people of the En elemental nation is what was over the wall. In the past, many ninjas tried to get over the wall, but they could never stick to the wall. Whenever they built anything close to the wall, it began to crumble. Buildings made of stone or metal, it started to crumble and fell apart. Of course the other side had the same problem. It was the wall reacting to people close by. To make sure that they don't get to the other side. Hearing Naruto going over the wall and exploring life in the West. To hear that chakra is a weak form of power compared to the power of the West. To hear that there is so many races that are superior to humans, even the humans are superior to the humans in the En. especially that only about 40% of the human race could use magic or chi. Keep in mind that humans weren't the majority population in the West. Just thinking about an invasion from the races in the West frightened him to no end. His home is one of the countries bordering the West and East. Thank God for the wall. Gaara said after finally absorbing Naruto's new life. As much as I want to help you and give you the full support of my village, I can't. We'll simply be wiped out in the first battle, he said sadly. He wanted to help his friend accomplish his destiny of becoming king, but hearing the sheer power of the West, a decision like that can't be taken lightly. He is Cage now and needs to think about the village first. Don't worry about it. I never intended to ask for help. I just wanted to see all you guys before I go off, cheering Gaara up. All I ask is that you keep my identity a secret till I reveal myself, getting a nod. I just hope I get the chance to reveal myself in the future, he said with a grim smile. Baka, you won't die. If you die, I can just bring you back like I did before. Rin said to make him stop doubting his skills. Still, I want to thank you for all your help in reviving me. Gaara said. Well, there is one thing. Naruto said as he scratched his head. Grugurgurguragig, a growl from Naruto's and Arturia's stomach that caught the attention of everyone in the room. Rin only face palm and Kurama was laughing at the two. Hunger is an enemy that everyone must defeat. Arturia said with a passive face while placing her hands on her hungry stomach. Yeah, can we get some food? He asked them. Tamari giggled, Kankuro scoffed at them, and Gaara smiled. Of course, Gaara said as he got up from his chair to take everyone out to eat. 4 months later in the land of Waterfall. After Naruto's group time in the sand, they left to go and visit others. Gaara promised that he will watch for the wall to come down and welcome the idea of an alliance with Naruto when he becomes king. Naruto headed to the land of waves to see Tazuna and Inari. They were happy to see the blonde idiot alive and happy. Then he went to land of snow to visit Koyuki. He left the country with new bruises. Apparently, Koyuki decided to give him a deep and passionate kiss after hearing his plan for the future. After the kiss, she told him, I will wait, and she left. Leaving Naruto confused at her message and making Rin and Arturia angry at his thick-headedness. Later, Kurama decided to tell the group of one of the last demon in the east, Moroyo. He wanted to offer him the chance to return to the west. All demons have long life that seems like they are immortal, so Moroyo was most likely alive and the shinobi are weak against him. The group headed to the land of demons and volunteered to protect their priestess, Shien. Shien was a brat that didn't get along with Naruto much. Arturia was the person that would watch over her. When reaching the temple, Arturia and Rin fought the army and Naruto took Shien to seal Moroyo. Of course, Naruto stopped her, so he can offer Moroyo the chance to go home. He refused his offer and went on the attack on the east. He was consumed by hate and wanted revenge on the sage, but he died before he could get his revenge, so he decided to target his people. Shien fell into despair and was prepared to die sealing Moroyo. However, Naruto fought hard with Excalibur and with combining his sword and Shien's mystical bell, they were able to defeat Moroyo. Shien fell in love with Naruto and asked him to pass on her power, which he agreed to. Getting another beating from Rin because she knew that Naruto didn't understand what Shien really meant. Also, there was this one time he ran into a pair of women when he decided to train somewhere more secluded. As he trained with his swordsmanship and magic skills, a pair of women watch him. They notice he was powerful, very powerful. They came out and introduced themselves to him. They were Shizuka and Takiwa. They were out looking for powerful men to challenge and take back home for Shizuka. It was no surprise that Shizuka lost. Seeing how Naruto trained was frightening. He used the Gate of Babylon to surround himself and fired many Noble Phantasm at him. Noble Phantasm is the general name that he gave his weapon in the gate because of the power belonging to a noble king, and the power could be something found in the dreams of the powerful. Naruto would use his Excalibur or one of the legendary weapons in the gate to deflect or destroy them. This was to improve his strength, reaction time, and speed. Shizuka didn't felt ashamed to losing against Naruto and happily accept him as her new husband. However, there was a problem: he wasn't ready. He told them his story after making them promise not to tell anyone. They were surprised to learn that he was the former son of the Hokage. Even more surprised to learn about the mysterious West. They were skeptical at first, but the looks in Naruto's eye told them he was telling the truth. She promised to wait for him. That was when he finally understood what Koyuki meant before. He happily agreed, forgetting to tell the others about the news. It was going to be an interesting reunion for him. We can't forget the village hidden in the star. They had trouble with their leader forcing the next generation of star shinobi into a dangerous training. When Naruto and his friends came along, they were saved. Oh, also he killed the zero-tailed beast. When there was trouble with the land of the sky, Naruto took care of it. He helped Amaru too, as well as Haruna, the new daimyo from the land of vegetables. In addition, the group ran into some trouble. Throughout their journey, they were attacked by hunter ninjas from the leaf. They intended to capture them at all cost. During their time in snow, they found themselves in the leaf's bingo book. That pissed them off, to find out that they made up many lies to get them into the book. The first time they ran into the leaf, they allowed them to retreated. The rest of the time, they went back to the leaf in Body's bag. They were already criminals in the eyes of the leaf, so why not commit some crimes in the land of fire? The fire daimyo didn't like all the complaints coming from all the nobles in his land. He was getting reports of several crimes committed in his land by 3 people. Of course, the daimyo figured out that Minato was up to his old ways again, but this time, he couldn't stop him. They committed several crimes: theft, vandalism, dine and dash, murder of leaf ninjas, and more dine and dash incident. He just let the leaf ninja do their hunting and kept his men out of this affair, knowing the truth and the injustice done by Minato. By the time they reached the land of waterfalls, 3/4 of their hunter ninjas and 1/4 of their Anbu, and many Chunins and Genins and few Junins died. Minato believed that as soon as he gets them, the village won't need to worry about power anymore. He believed the Rin's power to bring back the dead was enough to bring back the best they had. How wrong he was. The ranking of the major village drastically changed. The sand began to grow stronger due to allying themselves with countries that Naruto helped. Mist got out of their civil war and managed to fill in all of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist, except for Kisame. His position was replaced by Mangetsu. He is alive in my story, as a swordsman capable of wielding all swords. The group alone brought them up to strength. The new ranking from 1st to 5th is Cloud, Stone, Sand, Mist, and finally Leaf at dead last. They lost too much reputation to gain any good jobs and lost too many people trying to capture our trio of heroes. The village was in such a bad state that Jiraiya started to donate his money from Ika Ika to the village. Also, the Uzumaki wealth dwindled drastically. Kushina used the entire money of the former village of the Uzumaki clan to help the village stay afloat. Now, we find our band of heroes in Waterfall Country. So this is our last stop. Ask Arturia. Yeah, I want to say goodbye to Shibuki. He is a good man. Naruto replied. How far is it? Rin asked. Already tired from all the walking. Not that far. Just an hour more of walking. Boom. What was that? Arturia said as she drew Caliburn. I don't know, but we should check it out. Naruto said as he put on his helmet, preparing for a possible fight. Naru-chan, we need to move faster. I sense Chome nearby. Kurama shouted. Worried for her younger sibling because of the recent Akatsuki attack. The group managed to find out that they only captured Shukaku. Ever since news of Gaara's capture, the other nations kept their Jinchuriki safe from them and the 3 heroes managed to stop the attacks. When Yugito was targeted, Naruto was nearby and saved her. Kakuzu and Hidan managed to escape from Naruto's wrath. Damn it. I think the Akatsuki is going for the Jinchuriki of the 7 tails. Naruto said as he picked up the pace. They group hid in the trees near a battle between the zombie duo of the Akatsuki against a tan-skinned girl with green mint hair. By looking at the girl, she looks like she was ready to give in to her capture. Give up Jinchuriki. You won't be escaping us this time. Kakuzu said, seeing the girl is on her last leg. Come on, keep fighting, so I can sacrifice you to Jashin-sama. The crazed priest Hidan screamed out. I can't keep this up. Fu thought as she begins to accept her fate to be captured by them. I don't think so, a man's voice came out getting the three's attention. You. Both Akatsuki members screamed as they recognized the man that stopped them from capturing the two-tailed Jinchuriki and nearly killed them. Who are you? Fu said with some concern in her voice. A king, the man in a suit of armor said. Then she widened her eyes. The man summoned a dozen golden ripples right behind him, making the Akatsuki stare in fear and her in awe. So will we fight Akatsuki or will you run away like last time? He said, surprising Fu that this man managed to make these two monsters run away. Damn it, we can't take him on. Only Leader Sama can take him on. Thought Kakuzu thought as he remembered the last battle and the order that Pain will deal with him. You might have killed the puppet, but you won't be able to kill us. Hidan shouted as he charged at the man. However he stopped. Kakuzu sent his treads to restrain his partner. Stop Hidan, we will die if we face him. We need to retreat and tell Leader Sama we failed. Damn it. As he resigned to retreat. The two members retreated back to village hidden in the rain. Rin ran over to Fu to heal her up. Thank you so much sir. Fu said as she gave a deep bow to the man that saved her. It's no problem. You are a ninja of waterfall. Shibuki wouldn't be happy to see any of his people captured. You know Shibuki. Yeah, we are old friends, he said with a smile, but no one could see it under his helmet. We should go to the village. It's still dangerous out here. Rin said. I agree. The Akatsuki could still attack or the Leaf may send another team due to us being close to their country. Arturia said, surprising Fu that the Leaf is after her hero. Oh, I should at least get the name of my heroes. I'm Rin Tasaka. I'm Arturia Britain. I will tell you once we get to Shibuki. I need to hide my identity. Getting a happy nod from her. The four head off to the village hidden in the waterfall. Once in the village, Shibuki brought the group into his office. After hearing the story of Fu being attacked by the Akatsuki, he began to worry for her in his village. Then when the man in the armor took off his helmet, everything changed. To hear that the story of their hero was mind-opening. Naruto, please take Fu with you. Shibuki said while bowing to him on his knees. Said both Naruto and Fu. Fu was blushing at the idea of going with Naruto. She idolized him after he saved her village from the traitor, Suion. Then she developed a crush after him rescuing her from certain death. Are you sure? I'm going to a place where Jinchuriki are weak compared to others, he said. Yes. The Akatsuki is a threat that I can't handle. Fu got lucky due to you visiting me. I fear she won't survive another attack and we won't be strong enough to handle them, as he began to get up. Plus I know you will protect her. Getting a smile from Shibuki which Naruto returned with his own. Naruto faced Fu. Fu, do you want to go west with me? To go into war with people far stronger than anything in the east. To face certain death with little chance for survival, he said with a smirk. Of course, I will be safer with you Naruto-sama, she said with a smile. By the way, call me just, Naruto. She smiled even more. Hi, Naruto. The two begins to walk off together talking to each other. Why is it that every girls he meet, they fall in love with the idiot? Rin asked Arturia tiredly. He's Naruto. We can't stop that. Arturia said happily, not minding all the attention that Naruto is getting. She is still getting the most attention from him compared to Rin. Something that she plans to change. We now find our newcomer, Fu joining the group. After her run-in with the Akatsuki, Shibuki offered them her the chance to go with her hero to a completely new world that she isn't familiar with. After a tearful goodbye between Shibuki and Fu, they headed to the village hidden in the sand. Sand village. Damn, the sun is going to kill me. Fu complained. How can you three stand the heat? She accused her new friends. Didn't Rin tell you? Naruto asked her. Tell me what? As she narrowed her eyes at him. Rin stepped up gathering her attention on her. I have a spell that can keep you cool in the hottest temperature. she said with a big grin, causing Fu's jaw to drop. You, how come you didn't give it to me? An angry Fu shouted. Well, you need some kind of welcome gift. I figured the appreciation for my genius talents would be a good gift, she said with a smug. It would have been better if you did cast that spell on me. Rin, just ignore her and continue to the village's gate. Why you? Get back here. Fu screamed at her and chase her, demanding her to cool her off. I feel like those two will become good friends. Naruto commented. Not unless Fu kills her first, Arturia said with a smile. They do have a unique dynamic. Time skip. They're in the village hidden in the sand. Naruto and Gaara came up with a plan to deal with the box of unlimited bliss. They came up with the idea that Naruto tried to assassinate Gaara and later be captured and sent to the blood prison. Naruto, under a fake identity as Tatsumi, was trying to assassinate Gaara to weaken the Sand Village. Naruto pleaded that he was taking a job from the Leaf Village. Something that they denied, but their reputation suggested otherwise. To be honest, it was one of Minato's plan for bringing power to the Leaf by weakening the others. Of course he couldn't say that and there was no real proof. The trial was held in the Land of Irons with all 5 cages attending due to him being sent to Hazuka Castle. A prison that needs to be approved by all. Naruto only said that the Leaf hiring him due to planting the seed of suspicion on the Leaf for everyone, except for Gaara. He started to doubt them after hearing that they were planning to rescue him from the Akatsuki. He was later sent to be punished. He still had his chakra coils and with the help of Kurama, she managed to make it look like that Tatsumi was on the level of a cage to draw out the perpetrator. Naruto went into the prison to do his job. He was confronted by Mui, the head of the prison, and taken captive to be an offering for the box. However, he escaped from Mui and his men. The fire release, Heavenly Seal didn't work on Naruto because he didn't use chakra to escape. He just summoned one of his noble phantasm to fight his foe, but he didn't escape without taking some hit. He ran and hid in a cave near the prison. There he rested for a while until another prisoner confronted him. This prisoner was Ryazetsu. She came in to heal him and talk about her purpose there. They got along well and agreed to work together to kill Mui and destroy the box of unlimited bliss. The problem was that they needed to find the box. They decided to wait until Mui made the first move. Mui got tired for searching for Naruto and decided to harvest the other prisoners as chakra for the box. There Mui finally faced his son, Muku, that he wanted to see for a long time. Muku, who was really Satori, the demon in the box, was wearing his skin to finally escape the box. Just before Muku was about to impale Mui, Naruto and Ryazetsu went in and Naruto used Enkidu, the chains of heaven, to restrain Muku and save Mui. Muku transformed into Satori true form to battle Naruto, who was the only one capable of taking him down. Naruto summoned Durandal and fought a fierce battle with Satori. Naruto was struggling to take out Satori and there were prisoners and guards dying in the crossover. Naruto couldn't take it any longer and summoned Aya and finally slain the demon and saved the others. Mui was grateful for Naruto and Ryazetsu help in saving him and ending the nightmare of the box of unlimited bliss. He allowed the two to leave the prison due to the understanding of their reason in the prison for the first place. Ryazetsu didn't have anywhere to go anymore. She didn't want to go back to the village hidden in the grass, so she followed Naruto. The two were close during their time in the blood prison and figured that the other side of the wall is a better choice for a new start. Something that would later bring headaches for him and his friends. After introducing Ryazetsu to the group, they head off to the west. Tasaka's Manor, west. During their trip to Rin's home that they are using as a base, Fu and Ryazetsu couldn't believe that they were actually in the west. They saw a lot of death. Naruto and the girls led them through several war zones to show how violent that the west is. They saw many dead bodies and were forced to fight against some of the other race that wanted to kill the group. Of course, they were surprised about how strong the other race were. The ghouls were far stronger than most of the girls and gave them a hard time. The demons and devil really freaked them out. They were ruthless and nearly killed Fu. If Chome, Nanabe, didn't save her, she would be dead. Finally reaching the safe haven of Camelot, the humans finally relaxed in the Tasaka's manner. Some part of me regret coming along, Fu said with a sheepish smile. Still, the West is really interesting. The culture is very different and the food is pretty good, Ryazetsu said while eating some fish and chip that Rin made for the group. Something that all the ninjas from East could say that is delicious. The girls nodded in agreement as soon as they tried it. Thanks. Happy to know that you like our cuisine, Rin said with a smile. The entire group spent the next couple of hours eating and enjoying their time in the manor. Especially Arturia, Rin rarely makes a lot of food. She was going to eat as much food as possible. Now that celebration are over, we need to talk about what are we going to do next, Arturia said with a serious voice. True. We finish your little vacation and now we are back in West. What is next, Naruto? Rin asked, making everyone look to the once and future king for guidance. The next step is getting more power. Even with all the weapons that I could summon, we need more to fight every race. I'm thinking of something crazy. How crazy? Rin asked. She knew and dreaded that look. I plan on taking the power of the heavenly dragon. What? Rin and Arturia shouted, surprising the other girls that don't know of the legend. That is stupid. Even for you, Rin shouted. Agreed. At least wait for Lady Merlin to return before facing them, Arturia said with concern in her voice. Excuse me. Would you guys explain what is a heavenly dragon? Fu asked as she raised her hand. The heavenly dragon are two dragons that holds power that nobody can face. In the past, the demon race challenged against one of the two and lost their demon lord. They later went into hiding to build up their force. That was when the devils came up and took their spot as one of the powerful faction in the West. The demons are still more powerful than the devils, but they are low in numbers. Back to the dragons, legend foretold that they were sent to be the one to aid the once and future king, Rin said in lecture mode. So why is it a stupid idea for Naruto to face them? He is the once and future king. Ryazetsu asked, confused about the problem. The problem, Ryu, is that I wasn't born when they were sent to the West. They waited and many people hunted them down like the Biju at home, so they fought back and started to ignore their duty. They would test me or just kill me. Seeing as no one is capable of taking them down, we believe that they will kill me, Naruto answered using the nickname he gave Ryazetsu. Oh, Ryu said. Still, it is the right call. It's time I face them. We can't wait for Merlin to come back, he said as he stood up. I'm doing this alone. No buts. This is my destiny and it's time I face it. What is your destiny then, Naruto? Ryu asked as she or the others haven't heard the full legend. It's an old legend that existed way before the wall came up. It became a fairy tale that many parents told their kids in hope to give them hope for a warless future. It says, a child capable of pulling the golden sword of Victorious from the stone will be bestowed power capable of saving the world or destroying the world, Arturia answered as she loves the story since childhood. Fu just listened carefully and was reminded something. This reminds me of, she went on to tell the story. It was a story that speak of the child of prophecy from Shibuki. He had a summon that would talk about it all the time. Interesting story, a feminine voice said from nowhere. Surprising Fu and Ryu. The other three already recognized the voice and her antics. Calm down everyone. It's Merlin, Naruto said as he continued to drink his tea. Then Merlin came out of the shadow and showed herself. You need to stop doing that. Coming out of nowhere without me sensing you is scary, Excalibur said, as she doesn't like any surprise that put her master in danger. Come on, I thought it was funny, Kurama said as she came out of the kitchen with a bag of chips. Nice to see someone on my side, Merlin said with a smile. Now, I'm Merlin. You should already know me, she asked, getting a nod from the two. Good, now Fu, that story isn't really surprising. After talking with Lord Byako himself, I learned that all elders of each of the summon race once heard of our legend about the sword in the stone. Even the White Tiger elder had a similar memory of our story, but only remember parts of the legend. This summon elder must have remember parts of our legend and pass it on as a prophecy. A prophecy that was incomplete on his side and only works in the West. Our world is the one in constant war, not yours. Yar, you ninjas are really selfish. How come did the summon elder pass it as a prophecy? He said he saw it in a vision. Fu asked. You just said it. He is an elder. An elder with memory problem like all other elders of all race. Merlin pointed out, making Fu realize she was right. The elders of all summons were infamous for their long age and memory problem. In hindsight, Naruto's pain could have been avoided if they acknowledged that the elder of the Toad summons was just an old forgetful toad because it was him that caused the Namikaze family to only care about Mito. Well, with that out of the way, Naruto. Merlin gave a serious look. You were right, she said with a smile. Said all the girls in the room, leaving Naruto dumbstruck and Kurama laughing. I said he is right. It is time that he face those two. Albion is more loyal, so he may come quietly if you show him Caliburn, but Diedrig will ask for a fight. You will need to prepare for that. Merlin said in all seriousness. Time skip. Naruto asked for Caliburn back to use against the heavenly duo. Arturia handed it back to him with a kiss. Rin also gave him a kiss and threatened to kill him if he dies. Ryu and Fu made Naruto promise to come back. Then Naruto head off to MT. Heaven. The mountain range where the heavenly duo live and fight. It was named after them. Then Naruto head off to MT. Heaven. Man, Naruto said as he longed at the sheer destruction around the mountain. Grr. Who goes there? A very powerful shout came from above, showing two large dragons. One red and one white. Who dares enter our home? The red one shouted, not liking intruders. Look, Albion, a human came to challenge us. I haven't seen any human come here before. This will be the first, Diedrig. Both Diedrig and Albion laugh at this. Hey, don't look down on me, shouted Naruto, not liking how people always look down on him. Make me human, Diedrig said. Naruto only grinned at this. He drawn out Caliburn and let her light shine bright in front of the two. I am possible, Diedrig shouted. Finally, Albion said with glee. Our master is finally here. That's right. I am the once and future king. I come here to ask for your help to unite the land. I'm honored to help, Albion said as he showed his respect. He was more the respectful one out of the duo. Not me. You need to beat me if you want my help. What are you doing, Diedrig? He is the one that we were born to help. Will you deny our birthright? Albion asked. Damn right. He needs to prove that he is worthy of my power. How dare you, Albion shouted, but was interrupted. I will fight. But, Albion tried to protest. No buts. All my life, I never asked for anything. Everything I have, besides Caliburn and some other things, I work hard to get. I won't let this stop me. If you want a fight then I will give you one. Naruto shouted as he drew Excalibur too. We are with you, master, my king, Excalibur and Caliburn said as he prepared to fight. Albion, I like that you show respect for me, but I have to do this. It's not about power. It's about proving my worth, he said, making Albion look at him with more respect and decided to leave the battlefield. You earn a little respect, human. I hope you are ready. Mother God is a female and created the heavenly dragons, so they are their mother, promised me that her chosen king will be strong. Bring it. Naruto, Caliburn, and Excalibur shouted. Naruto charged at the Welsh dragon, while the vanishing dragons sit back and watch. Naruto starts slashing at the scales of Diedrig, but proved to be fruitless. Damn, his scale is tough. Then he switched tactic and jumped back after a powerful fire attack. He summoned dozen of noble phantasm from the gate of Babylon and sent them at Diedrig. So you know about the gate. Interesting, Albion said with a grin. Do you think that those puny weapons is enough to break my scales? Diedrig shouted. Master, there is a weak spot showing, Excalibur informed her master. There is a weakness. It's at the base of the tail. Caliburn added on. That is not going to be easy. Naruto pressed on with his slashes with his twin holy swords at Diedrig's stomach. Only to notice a powerful glow he started to give off. Naruto immediately jumped back to see his next attack. I wonder if you can survive this. Take this. Longinus Smasher, Didrag shouted as he fired a pure green beam of energy at him, destroying everything in his way. I'm not great with names. Damn it, he thought as it got closer. He stuck Excalibur to the ground and gathered prana into Caliburn. Banishing shift, he shouted as he swung Caliburn against Longinus Smasher and sent the attack into the zero dimension, surprising the two dragons. Huh, how do you like that? He taunted. That is an interesting move, Albion thought. What the hell was that? That wasn't the Gate of Babylon, and sure as hell it wasn't one of Caliburn's attack. Didrag shouted in anger that one of his most powerful attack was countered that easily. Oh, that was the gate in a way though, getting a confused look from the red dragon. The gob is just dimension magic. I experimented with the gob and tap into other dimensions. Banishing shift is a counter spell that dispel any and all form of attack by sending it the zero dimension. The dimension where everything becomes nothing, he said with a grin. Why you? Didrag said as he swiped his claw at him, then smiling that he got him until poof, allowing Caliburn to fall into the ground when Naruto, poof. What? Didrag shouted in anger and confusion. Seeing as how can he do that? Not realizing it is a ninja technique that is new to the West. Ninjutsu may be weak compared to magecraft, but does have its uses. That was my shadow clone jutsu. I will explain later, Naruto said from behind of Didrag. Didrag sensed a lot of prana coming from behind that he didn't notice due to the clone distraction. The original Naruto quietly picked up Excalibur and went behind Didrag. Naruto was behind with Excalibur raised and gathering power to use her ultimate attack. Excalibur, Naruto shouted as he swung down aiming for the base of the tail with Excalibur, dealing a lot of damage to Didrag. After the light died down. Ha 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 ha, I haven't took this much damage since my fight with Albion a few years ago, Didrag said with a laugh. Naruto could only look at shock that Didrag took on that attack and only take minimal damage. Human. No, King. I accept you as the one mother sent us to help, Didrag said with a big grin. Yata. I did it. Naruto shouted and jumped for joy. Time skip, to Sokka's manor. I hope he is alright, Ryu said as she laid on the couch and watched TV. She, along with Fu, were surprised about how magic can be used to create technology for life instead for death. The West have some low-tech cars and Naruto's favorite, a motorcycle, kitchen appliance, and medical devices. All low-tech of course, but more advanced than the one that ninjas find in the land of snow. Of course that idiot is alright, Rin said. Hey Rin, I still don't get why you don't like all these cool stuff. Fu asked Rin about all the technology in the house. I just don't like it. It's confusing. I'm a magus and tradition is everything. I was raised to do things the old-fashioned way. Arturia and Naruto brought in the technology, she replied. She really didn't like technology. No matter how much they taught her about it, she still had trouble. Roar. Rin, Fu, Arturia, and Ryu heard a loud roar outside and went out to see what it was. Only to see a red and white dragon coming their way with a blonde on top of the white one. They all looked dumbstruck. Arturia and Rin especially. All their life, they were told how dangerous that the duo were, and now, they see their lover ride one as if it was nothing. They expected Naruto to live and fight another day after losing to the dragon. They didn't see this coming. Hey guys, Naruto shouted as they began to land in front of the manor. Naruto jumped down to give the girls a hug. Who the hell is making that noise? Kurama shouted as she walked out of the house with a huge headache. She drank too much and was dealing with a hangover. One long introduction and explanation later. So you see, I don't really want you two to do the fighting. Making the heavenly duo look at their master with more respect. The two could have easily conquered the entire West for him, but Naruto said he wanted to do it himself. If I don't unite the West myself, I can't call myself a king. I need to do this myself. Do you guys have any way to give power instead? Naruto asked. I can give you a unique power by giving you part of our soul, Albion said. Breaking a part of my soul and giving it to you will give you a pair of white dragon wings called divine dividing. The power allow you to divide anyone's power in half and absorb that power. Chakra, prana, or ki-based attack. Divine dividing also have more power when you become stronger with my power. Or, he turned to his brother, Didrag. I can give you my blessing. It will improve or give you magic circuit depending on the situation. However, the soul dividing only apply to you. Didrag answered. Is it okay that I get the divine dividing and the girls get your blessing? Getting a nod from both dragon. Didrag gave his blessing to Fu, Ryu, Rin, Arturia, and Merlin could always use the boost in their circuit. Fu and Ryu will gain magic circuit while keeping their chakra network like Naruto. When Fu gain her magic circuit, this allow Chome to be released from her prison. Something that her sister, Kurama, was happy to see. Ryu was happy to become stronger for Naruto. Thank you for your gift. Naruto said with a bow. Showing his new divine dividing wings to everyone. I will call on you when I need your help. The two dragon flew back home after bowing back. Well, this is good. We have great power, but there is some that need training. Merlin said as she looked at Arturia, Fu, and Ryu. 4 new magus is good, but. She turned to Rin. You need to teach them. She pointed to Rin. What? Why me? Again. She shouted in protest. You or Naruto could help me, you know. I know. She said with a smirk. But, I'm taking Naruto with me for a year-long trip. What? Everyone shouted in surprise. Yup. It's time to rebuild the 7 deadly sins. I had no luck finding more members, so I hope that Naruto will help. Besides, this will give him the chance to build up relations with many people and races that I know. Getting a nod, understanding the need for the legendary group and have ties with others. Rin, you will train those 4 for the next year. Understood. Fine. I will do it. Rin gave in to her demand. Naruto, this will be the last night with your girlfriends. Go spend it with them. Okay. He and the girls went into the house to spend the last day together until a year. It was a steamy night for Naruto, Rin, and Arturia. They decided to have fun with each other. Something that the next morning, they were saying their goodbye. Naruto, Fu and Ryu said. Promise to come back. Then we will have something to talk about, the 2 girls said. Alright, Naruto said as he kissed both on the cheek. Bye Chome. I wished I got to spend time hanging out. Watch out for your big sister, she always get into trouble. Naruto said as he hugged Chome. A beautiful girl with green hair. Hey, Kurama said in protest against that statement. Caliburn, take care of Arturia for me. You are a great sword that I was lucky to have, he said to Caliburn in her sheath by Arturia's side. I will, my king. Promised to come back alive. Caliburn replied. Of course, he said with a smile. Naruto, it's time to go. Merlin said. Goodbye.